recording. Oh, recording has already started. Okay. So, so in this in this basis, what should be these operators? Each of them is an operator. So let me see how much you understand. Who can say what is going to be the matrix in this for these operators in this basis? So this is my B, and I'm asking for the operator representation, sorry, matrix representation of these operators. So let us do the simple one, L square. Can you say something how to do that? Sanjay, can you say something?
Yes, sir.
How
It will,
Bolo?
given that the spherical harmonics are an eigenfunction of L square, it will be a matrix, like a diagonal matrix again, with LL plus 1 H cross square on
So
diagonals.
what should I write? No, just there should be some equation, right? On the basis of which you will write.
Okay, sir. So
Bolo?
it'll be y, okay, L square YML
L square
on YML, like LML,
LM. Yes.
and then equals,
Yes.
and then the eigenvalue, so LL plus 1 H square, H cross square, and then
This
times
is what you
Y.
are saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's fine. So how should I write the matrix?
As
This is
in
the
any,
operator equation. That's the operator equation. That's right. So how
yes,
should I write the matrix?
so the L square matrix,
L square.
like the L square matrix is basically now the, like, given that Y LML are the same on both sides.
Mhm. What do you mean? What is the matrix? How is the matrix written? I mean, there has to be some expression, right? This is only the operator equation you have said, but I have asked you to write the matrix.
Like matrix equation as in,
Bolo? In a given basis, how do you get the matrix? What is the basic, just how do you do that? The very first understanding. So in order to define the matrix, you have to have the matrix elements, right?
yes, sir.
So how is the matrix element defined in a given basis for an operator?
Oh, okay.
Yes, how is that?
So, like, for example, L square AB.
A square AB, okay, L square. बोलो क्या लिखना है मुझे? We did so many things in the previous class. So can somebody help? Who can have an answer to this? Everybody should be able to do it in a Jiffy, you know. Suranjanam, do you know what is the matrix representation of this operator in this basis? How do I do this?
Sir, this should be a diagonal matrix.
Yeah.
With
Why?
the eigenvalues in the diagonal, in the diagonal. So that should be for L equal to 0, that should be 0, and for 1, it should be 2, 2h plus square. Then for 3, it should be
Okay, so can you
2.
just tell me, that's, I'll take it in the positive. So can you tell me that how, what about the AML? Somebody writes something, somebody wrote something, it seems. Rohan says L is equal to, sorry, 0 into L 0 2, okay. Yeah, but you know, there is some confusion. What is the definition of the matrix element? In order to write the matrix, you have to write the matrix elements, right? You cannot write a matrix without knowing the elements. So my basic fundamental question is that where is the matrix element, right? If I know one of the matrix elements in the general form, I can write all of them. Is that agreed? So with this understanding, Suranjana, now you tell me what is the my definition of matrix element? बाद में आएगा or matrix. I am not asking for exact values. What is the general element of the matrix? Yes.
Sir,
बोलो आदमी को बोलो.
the matrix element in the mth row and the nth column will be bra psi m L square, then psi n. Ket.
What did you say?
That representation using bra and ket we did it right.
So I want to write that expression. Please tell me what do I do? I have written L square. Can you please tell me what do I do?
Sir,
It is written already, something is written here, but that is not enough. That is only the operator equation. ठीक है? बोलो आगे बोलो. What is the definition of matrix element, Adrija? Elements कैसे? बोलो. Yeah.
that psi m will be psi m star L square psi n.
Okay. Psi m n. So what is your psi m now? Psi m is the basis, right?
Yeah, m and n are the basis.
So what is the basis now in this case?
The basis is the harmonic oscillator.
We have already written, na? Use the mathematical language. What is psi m? लिखा है तो उधर.
Sir, actually the board has become hazy.
बोलो, you cannot see the board?
No, the screen has become hazy. That's why.
Okay. So, but why is that? I thought maybe the light is creating problem. Wait a second. अब ठीक है?
No, sir, I think it's because of some internet problem. Like,
Okay, it is because of the internet problem. Oh, this may be worse because you cannot see anything now, it seems.
yeah.
Okay, so what is the basis? You have psi m as a basis, right?
Yeah.
And psi n is another basis. यही तो बात है. And this in the between there is the operator, right? So what is my basis? I have already told in the beginning what is my basis. My basis is this. What is this? Now we can see?
Yeah.
The middle.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is YLMN.
Yeah, it has some name, na? What is the name? इसको क्या बोला जाता है? अरे बाबा तुम्हारा बारे में मैं अगर बोलूंगा कि चलो 4th ईयर में पढ़ता है, केमिस्ट्री में पढ़ता है, घर यहाँ पे है, सब ठीक है, but eventually you want to know the name, right? So Adrija Datta is better, right? For many purposes. So what is this name? It has some name. Give it some name. This is the spherical harmonics, right?
Yeah.
How can you miss that? Okay. So what should I write here now? You tell me. Now you tell me. Can somebody write in the chat box while she explains, understands? What should I write in the left hand side, right hand side? You said psi m and psi m, right? सब तो लिखा है. तो क्या लिखना है मुझे? Who can answer? Just try it. You said psi m. You see, everything is known, but it seems like nothing is known because we have spent already 10 minutes to understand this. We need some help, okay? Adrija.
Yeah.
So what is my psi m? You see how basic things can be so hard. And that is precisely the point of taking the class. Quantum mechanics के लिए दुनिया में हजार किताब है. You know, there is no need to be in the class. So nobody still can answer. Surbi, you can answer. I cannot take everybody's name. So please, Ashish, chalo, Tahiti, जो भी हो बोलो, Madhur, Shiv Kumar, Shaumalika. I took everybody's name. Shaumili, Rohan. I really want you to answer this question, you know. At least try to करो. नहीं बोलोगे तो मैं बोल दूंगा फिर वही प्रॉब्लम रह जाएगा. Surbi, I know it is not very. Can you say?
Sir, I got disconnected. What is the question?
Question is that how do I write the matrix element for this operator in this basis? So she wanted to write, you know, your friend Suranjana was telling L square, somebody said diagonal, etc., etc. So can you please make some sense out of all this discussion? Adrija got stuck and she said psi m, like she said something like this. So she said psi m L square psi n. So I asked what is psi m? Can you help now? Is it understood, Surbi?
Yes, sir.
So what you think? Even if you cannot say it, just try, you know.
So psi m here is our basis.
Psi m is the basis. So I am just asking what is the basis. I just wrote 2-3 times in the blackboard.
The
is already-
spherical harmonics.
Spherical harmonics. So what should I write? Matrix element is this. Your O is L square, right?
Yes, sir.
Because my O will be replaced by all of this. I will do one by one. But my easiest one is the L square. So what
Yes,
is psi m? That is what I have asked you. And I am asking.
YLMN.
So just write YLM. That's so nice, you know. And what should I write here?
So we're using Brian Ket. So again, we'll have YLML. YL dash ML dash.
Thank you so much. Why was it so difficult? Adrija, you understand?
Yes, sir. It was very obvious.
The biggest problem in life is that common sense makes you a very uncommon man. Don't forget it. Okay. So it's just, you just have to realize your psi m has one index. Here you have a function which has 2 index. Right? तो उसमें क्या है? 2-dimensional function है ही है. Right? So now that, so it should be lm So now if this is the definition, now can you tell me what is going to happen to this expression? Because before you write a matrix element, before you write the matrix, you need to know the matrix elements. If you do not know that, then just diagonal, non-diagonal, 0, 2, these things are not very important in life, you know. Final answer is not always the everything. You want to know how is it happening. This is your time to learn how is it happening, why is it happening. ओके अब जब बड़े साइंटिस्ट हो जाओगे तो आप सोचोगे व्हाट टू डू व्हाट टू डू व्हाट टू डू नाउ इज योर टर्न टू लर्न हाउ टू डू एंड व्हाई टू डू ओके सो हाउ टू डू दिस व्हाट विल बी द सिंप्लीफिकेशन नाउ होने वाला है शुड बी प्लीज टेल मी नाउ हाउ शुड आई सिंप्लीफाई दिस एक्सप्रेशन
Sir, after this, we are going to be doing
बोलो yes
we have to find the eigenvalue for
so what is that no need to make so many words so how do I write this simplification क्या होने वाला है इसका L square is there, right? Operator.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
you have this guy. What will happen to L square y, this guy?
L dash into L dash plus 1
Yes.
h cross square
And L square.
y LML.
That's what. And this one remains as such.
Yes, sir.
I can write this. Huh? I can write this, right? This is equal to yes or no? Some confusion is there? Suranjana? Surabhi, कुछ confusion है क्या?
No, sir. I'm just trying to understand because we have already written the eigenvalue, then we don't need the other side, the ket.
That is the problem. That is precisely the point. I am spending 20 minutes for that. You people are making things very superficial. There is the problem. Because earlier you did not have to worry because it was obvious. Now it is not obvious. You have two index, right? How do you deal with this? So now you tell me what is going to happen. You will see how. So this can be taken as a constant, right? There is no operator.
Yes, sir.
So I want to write L prime into L prime plus 1 h cross square y L m y L prime L prime. I can write that.
Yes, sir.
So what is this? Now you tell me. I want to write something for this. What should I write?
That will be the delta function. That
Delta bolo index bolo na.
delta L L dash M L M L dash.
Delta L dash.
Then delta M L M L dash.
Right. So now you write. Now you try to draw the matrix. Now every element of the matrix will be known to you. How is it? So you construct the matrix now and tell me if it is obvious. It is not only L, you have to consider all the M's for a given L. That's why it is to be done. So what do? I write L, M, okay? And then I write L prime, M prime. ठीक है? And then, so my 0 and 0. So if your L is 0, so you see that you need two index, L prime, M prime, L M. ठीक है? Adrija, is it Okay, so for each L, I have, so for each L, I have so many L. How many L? Only one, sorry. I have L prime, M prime. So for a given L prime, I have only one M prime, 0, 0. For L is equal to 0, I have only M is equal to 0. Right? So what do I do? So I can write something like this. So your L, M prime, and this is L prime, this is M prime, okay? So you can see that if I write is equal to 0, let us complete one of them, L prime 0, M prime 0, L prime 1. How many M prime is there? If L prime is 1, how many M prime is there?
3 values.
What are those?
-1, 0, and 1.
Right? Similarly, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, -1, 2, -2. We can just do up to this much. Okay? Now for this guy also you do it like this. Right? So please do it and see what is going on. So 0, now I have 0, 0, okay? Now I have 1, 1, 1. I will write in this same order 1, 0, -1, 1, 0, -1, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you can make some. So these are actually called submatrices. 2, 2. In that order you write 1, 0, -1, -2. So this is an infinite matrix. You see that? And that's what is you have said that L goes from 0, 1, 2, dots, dash, 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 dash. But for a given L, M values are numbered. You do not have infinite values of it. So now, if you do that, so actually it should have been here actually. ये सब यहाँ पे होना चाहिए था. So now you put that expression into practice. Now you use this expression into practice. What it means? That means your L has to be L prime and M also has to be equal to M prime. If that is what is happening, then only the matrix element survives by an amount which is given by the L prime quantum number, L prime into L prime plus 1 H cross square. So you can write L square matrix is equal to H cross square into this whole. So there will be an H cross square. So what should I write? So L prime, M prime, right? M prime, right? So what should be the 0? This should be 0. Right? Baki sab 0 hai. These guys are all 0. These guys are all 0. Because you have to satisfy both L is equal to L prime, M is equal to M prime. Right? So now I go to L prime is equal to, so this is my L prime 1 slab. This is my L1 slab. Right? So in this block, 9 elements can be there. Right? So only in the diagonal you will have the value L prime into L prime plus 1, which is 1. 1 into 1 plus 1 is 2. So you will have 2H cross square. But again, these guys are 0. Again, 2H cross square. Because this is not 0 value. This is 1 in, you are looking at L and L prime. This is 2. So this is again 0. Of course, these are all big, big zeros. And then, so 2 into 2 plus 1, right? So that is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, so these are all big zeros, these are all big zeros, these are all big zeros, these are all big zeros. अभी समझ आया कैसे diagonal है? So within that matrix representation, you have so many sub matrices. You see that? So these are the so-called sub matrices. You see that these are also diagonal. So this is a perfect example of a block diagonal. है तो matrix diagonal, but even within that you have a block diagonal structure. Is that clear now, Adrija?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Absolutely clear?
Yeah.
So now it is your job to tell me what should I write for LZ matrix, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to delete it. So now you tell me what should I write for my LZ matrix. So this is now LZ.
So LZ will be each element, like the
You want to
element.
look at this expression first? You want to look at this expression and correct it first? What will happen?
Yeah.
What do I have to do it to make it for L prime? Sorry, LZ.
That will be ML dash H cross.
This is LZ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do I write here?
Yeah. That will be ML dash H cross.
Right?
Yeah.
Then what happens?
So we'll take it out again because it's a constant, and again we'll have that two delta functions over there.
This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So now you tell me what should I write what?
Here it will be 0 because the ML value is 0.
Okay, I'll take it without further question. Then this guy,
Here, since L is equals to L dash and M is equals to M dash, so we'll have 1.
do I have to write anything over here?
Over yeah, H cross.
That's very good. Then what do I write have to here? What should be here?
0.
0. Then where should be my next important element? Here?
Yeah.
What should be here?
0.
Why?
Sorry. Because it will be 0 because ML is also 0 over there.
Very good. So 0 into H cross, which is 0. What is this?
-1.
-1 into H cross. Now you just tell me, you see 0 and दुनिया में समझ आता है तो बहुत कुछ समझ आता है. Now you can easily tell me what is this?
This is 2, 1, 0, -1, -2.
Fantastic. So the rest are all 0. You see that? So this is the form of LZ matrix. So now you remember, stay in the line. So you have said that so this is also a diagonal matrix?
Yes. No, not
No?
all the diagonal elements are not non-zero.
But that doesn't make it a non-diagonal element. Diagonal elements means you have taken the wrong place. You have taken the wrong way to define a diagonal matrix. There is nothing in the non-diagonals. That is what is diagonal element.
Yeah, so
That-
this is also diagonal.
This is definitely a diagonal element. How can that not be? Because you have said that spherical harmonics is an eigenfunction of L square and LG operator. Remember?
Yeah, so it has to be diagonal.
So you have taken the eigenfunctions which are eigenfunctions of L square and LG operator. So in that basis, L square and LZ must have diagonal structure. ठीक है?
Yeah.
So now the question is that, which all of you have forgotten, what is the LX, LY? ये तो ठीक है. So this is understood. What do I do for Lx, Ly? Now that is the question. Or say I want to do it Lx. What do I do? Lx कैसे लिखेंगे? Any idea?
Lx commutator Lz will
So I
Lz
need
will
So you need to do this again. This Lz is to be replaced by Lx, right?
yeah.
So the question is that do you know what is going to happen? You just do not know. So that is why every time you have a question for Lx and Ly, you have to come to L plus and L minus. That is the reason you have read ladder operators. So the ladder operators are our tools to deal with Lx and Ly. That is why before I wrote Lx, Ly, I also wrote L plus, L minus. So in order to do this Lx, L plus, you need to work out what is L plus. Then it will be easier because you have said that Lx is equal to L plus L minus. Realize? Right? Similarly, Ly also can be written like this. So that means my essence of the question is I need to write out what is the L plus and L minus. Okay? So, okay. So, what is L plus and L minus? So, you need to write L plus Y L prime M prime. Is that clear? Huh? Is it clear?
Yes.
So what is L plus and L minus? So I will just write two expressions for you. Y L prime. This is what you need, right? So this should be obviously it is not going to be an eigenfunction. So that is the answer you wanted to know. Obviously, you know that L plus operating on spherical harmonics is not going to give you L plus L Y L prime M prime. That is not going to happen because spherical harmonics is not an eigenfunction of L plus operator. Spherical harmonics is not an eigenfunction of L minus operator. Spherical harmonics is not an eigenfunction of Lx operator. Spherical harmonics is not an eigenfunction of Ly operator. It is only an eigenfunction of L square and Lg operator. Right? So इसीलिए it was very easy for you to write this expression. But now you have to write this. Right? So that is also not very difficult. You can write this now. I'll just work out one of them. The rest I will leave it to you. So now L plus Y L prime M prime, you just write that expression, what is written there. Okay. So if you do that, so I can do this. Eventually, I want to write the final expression. So put this over here. Okay, that constant. So eventually you will see that it should be H prime, sorry, H. Just a little bit, no, nothing to work out. I have already written just L minus minus and L prime plus M prime plus 1. Okay. So these things should be half. These things should be half. This thing should be half. Okay. This whole stuff. Right. So this is half, and then it will be delta L L prime Can you tell me what should be the, what should I write after that? Because this will give you m prime plus 1, right? Because that is what is the meaning of ladder operators. One step, one further step, right? One additional step. So that should be m prime plus 1. Is that clear? So now you need to see not L is equal to L prime, L is equal to L prime hona hi hai, but within that slab your M and M prime must be differing by 1. That's what is. And then should be given by the L prime and M prime. Okay, if you do that, so please work it out. L prime should be this. So 0 is obviously no problem, but then you will see that this guy will become 0 root 2. 0, 0, 0, root 2. That's all you will get. And then 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, root over 6, 0, 0. This root over 6 will come because you just put the proper values of L prime and M prime, and that square root will give you this. There is nothing in it. So this is 0, 0, 0, root over 6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That is the structure of L plus. So you can see that M is equal to M prime plus 1. Only those things will survive for a given L and L prime. Okay? So you can use this exercise to, you can use this tool to write out what is going to happen for L minus operator 2. So L minus, I will just write it here. L minus will have everything all right, but here you will have M prime minus 1. And with, I think these guys should be plus. Okay, L minus, L plus, and this should be minus. That should be L minus. Right? So you can again write this. Maybe I can write it for you, L plus, sorry, L minus. L minus will be exactly opposite. So this will be to the other side of the triangle, 0, root 6, 0, sorry, 0, 2, 0, 0, root 6, 0, 0, 0, root 6, and then this guy 0. So that is the structure of L minus. And once you have gotten L plus and L minus, you can write Lx from that simple expression, Lx plus Ly, right? So I leave it to you, but just tell me what will happen to Lx plus. So if you do that, is it going to be diagonal, Lx and Ly? Is it going to be diagonal?
No, sir.
It cannot be diagonal because this is not an eigenfunction of the spherical harmonics. Without doing anything, you should be able to. So Lx will be, you will have it H cross over 2. I'll write the matrix for you, work it out. So you will see that this will be surrounded by, that is your Lx, sorry. So you will have to 0, minus 2, minus root 6, okay? Minus root 6, okay, minus 2, and then 2, 0, root 6, root 6. So this is your Lx. You can just add this L plus and L minus to get this, okay? And you can do this for Ly with appropriately, but Ly should have an H crossover twice I factor with some changes here and there that you can work it out. Okay, so these are the so-called sub-L matrices you can construct. Now this I did for the L operator. The moment you did it for L operator, you also have a feeling for the S operator. So similar mechanism can work for the S matrices too, but the dimension and see the numbers will come very similar. But the problem is that these dimensions will not be same, because your L takes values 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Your S takes values half for the spin. So the dimension of these matrices will be different. Jab time aayega, we will also write the matrices for the S. Okay. So I think the reason we did all this much is to get into your head one very basic concept of quantum mechanics. One very basic concept of quantum mechanics. So when you will have to solve, when you have to do the quantum mechanics, as you have said, you will solve this equation, but most of the times what you have to do is actually, you will see in many books, and of course, I guess all of you, maybe many of you have already seen this term, diagonalization. Actually, the solution eigenvalue, now almost half of the semester, I think now our turn is how to solve. Okay, hydrogen atom is not going to solve our purpose. So that is why we need to learn new tools. Okay, so diagonalization is one such tool. Even for hydrogen atom, we do that routinely. But what is the meaning is that, so for a given problem, what you want to do is that you want to solve eigenvalue problem. That's right. But what it means is that you actually want to find out a basis in which the Hamiltonian matrix is diagonal. That is why eigenvalue problem is all the time referred to as a diagonalization problem in a particular basis. Is this statement clear to everybody? Adrija, is it clear?
Yes, so it is clear.
It is clear?
Hmm.
Can you tell me how is it clear? Just
So,
repeat.
you said that we have to find the basis where the Hamiltonian is diagonal, is a diagonal matrix.
So do you agree that that actually solves the eigenvalue problem?
Yes, because if the Hamiltonian is a diagonal matrix, then the basis will be eigenfunctions of the Hamiltonian.
That's right. So just understand this little statement, So very good, thank you. So you understood that the solving an eigenvalue problem is basically to find out a basis in which that matrix becomes diagonal. That is why all of your books will write so many things about how to diagonalize, etc., etc. Right? So that is a very important concept. Okay, so that means I just want to find out a basis in which this matrix is diagonal, and I'll say that, so these are my eigenvalues. If the basis has been properly, if the matrix has been properly diagonalized by means of certain tools, okay? So with this, now let us deal with the tools, okay? The very first tool that we have to discuss is actually very important concept. So variational principle. There are two main techniques. One is variational theorem, another is your perturbation theory. They come in different flavors, different complexities, but the basic principles are very simple. So understand the basic principles. What is the essence of, we are going to prove in the next class, but what is the essence of variational principle? So these are all first of all, these are approximation methods. Both of them are approximation methods, okay? So you realize that you have given up hope to find out exact solution of an interacting many electron system. That is the first thing you realize. Because even after 100 years, we are struggling to find out the exact solution for a 2 electron atom. Forget about 2 electron molecule like H2, right? So we have given up that. It doesn't mean that people are not working. Hundreds of people are working. Brilliant minds are engaged into that kind of stuff. But we have to be happy with the approximate solutions. That's the first thing. So the two such valuable and most important methods are variational principle and perturbation theory. Okay. So what is the statement of variational principle? Variational principle का philosophy क्या है? It says that if you have this Schrodinger equation, okay, is it possible? It doesn't directly give you a prescription to find out the eigenvalue equation, but it tells you an indirect way. It gives you an indirect way to find out the quality of a function that you have found out by solving the Schrodinger equation in an approximate way. That means by some ingenuity or by some hard work, by some skill, you have say developed something and you found out a solution. So that means a trial function. You have gotten a trial function to the solution. Okay? That means you have the solution found in the form of a psi trial. Your exact solution is something there, which is of course you want to get it. The corresponding eigenvalue, the corresponding energy, I want to call it E1. I am following the notation of Levin's book, so please use that. So what is psi exact? Psi exact means the hypothetical case of exact solution if it is known to me. Okay? So I am going to compare this with, and I have a trial function which is known to me. So variational principle tells you whether this just having a trial function is not enough. It also has to be satisfying certain conditions. So variational principle tells you whether you can accept this trial function. It puts certain constraints in the in your trial function which it must satisfy. And what is that? The conditions, the variational principle states very simple. Phi star, if the solution is written as H phi, is equal to E phi, phi star H phi d tau. What are all these? Phi star is the, let us for understanding put the trial. Okay. And what is E1? E1 is the correct exact ground state energy of the system that you will get if the solution is exactly solved. So they are not the same quantity. You understand? So what this tells is that a trial function should always give you an expectation value or energy which is an upper bound to your minimum correct energy. So this is an upper bound. So what it means is that it has many consequences. We are going to slowly see. We are going to prove this in the next class, not today. So, but understand what is the meaning. That means I have, say, suppose this problem for a fluorine molecule. Okay. And I have say suppose psi 1, psi 2, psi 3. Of course, don't think in terms of the electrons because this is a one particular approximation, psi approximation 1, psi approximation 2. Psi means the total wave function, not the molecular orbitals, right? The total wave function. It's a huge thing, but you write it. Psi approximation 3, 5 different methods. Okay, so you cannot just say, so you can see that as your energy, as your approximation is correct, means approaching the correct value, the energy should become close to your E1. But so you will always try to minimize the gap between the trial energy and the correct energy E1. But variational principle forbids you that this will become lower than, should not be too greedy. That means तुमने ये function लिया, मान लो इसका value है -2. That is the exact value. Okay. So suppose hydrogen ground state. Hydrogen ground state, so suppose your correct value is -12 atomic units. Okay. So you take psi 1 approximation variational principle, right? You get, say, suppose example, say minus 0.25. Suppose, then you take second approximation, psi 2 approximation. That means what? You take another trial function, you solve the Schrodinger equation. Do it, okay? Then you get, say, energy of, say, suppose minus 0.3. Psi 3 minus 0.4. You put some parameters, etc., you get some minus 0.45. Okay. Then you increase some numbers or some parameters, etc. So you do endless times. Okay. So psi 100. Say suppose you gotten something like minus 0.501 or 001. Okay. So, but you should realize that there has to be some way you cannot accept this wave function. Right? So that means this is the barrier. So that means it is a way to eliminate certain nonsense functions which may come in your hand. Okay? You cannot take that. Okay. So this is a qualification problem. But how actually a trial wave function gives me a solution? That is the question. Remember, we wanted to solve this. We said that these are the tools to solve a particular problem. Now, how is this helping you to solve an equation? What happens is that, so when you take the psi trial, generally what happens is that your trial wave function has certain parameters. What does this mean? Suppose your hydrogen atom problem. Okay. You know that my solution, hydrogen atom I should not take. I think it's okay. So this is my exact solution, in this case is known to me. Okay? So what I want to do is that I want to take some trial function. Suppose I take the function r square, psi r square. So c r square. Some constant c into r square. Right? I want to take some constant, some another C1, so C1 r square e to the power minus, say, suppose C2 r square. I want to take that kind of function, right? I want to take, say, suppose C1 r C2 e to the power minus C3 r. I can create all kinds of functions, right? So what is the implication? Implication is that if you take a function which has some constant, suppose for this particular case, what variational principle is telling you is that you take this function and construct a particular integral. That is what we are going to do it in the next class. So you just construct this integral. Remember, considering this integral is not equal to solving the Schrodinger equation. Your Schrodinger equation is this. Plus BR, okay, psi E is equal to E psi. That is the solution of, so it is a differential equation. Variational principle has told you that you consider, instead of solving this differential equation by mathematical techniques, you take an integral. Why this integral important? That we'll understand in the next class. But you start with this integral and consider this integrand, right? And see what is the value. So you take this value, and Hamiltonian is known for this problem. You can construct this integral, no problem. But you will get an answer in terms of C, because there is a C which is in the expression, right? So now what it says is that you'll get some C something, right? Now it says that you minimize this until you get the correct energy. That means you make the derivative of this to be 0. So that means you consider this integral to be W. So then you consider dW dC. That doing this expression will give you some conditions of some values of C, right? And you put that value into this function now. Now, after doing all this variational integrand, you get some value of C. Say suppose you get some 1.5, half. You got C, right? So then you use this function to find out the energy. So you did not solve the Schrodinger equation, remember, right? You just considered the variational integral. So you can take this. Now in this case, what I have two parameters, right? I can construct a function of 3 parameters, 4 parameters, 5 parameters. That is why your matrix sizes in the actual calculation become very large, because you have too many parameters. Because generally the understanding is that if the number of parameters is large, you can get better and better energy, means close to the exact energy, but never exact. Okay, so you want to vary all these parameters. So that means now if you have more than one parameter, so you have to do this dW dC1 is equal to dW dC2 and etc. is equal to 0. So that means you vary the whole set of parameters to get a correct energy or better energy, and vary until you get close and close and close and close. That is the variational principles philosophy. Okay. Any question or any comments? So we'll do it in the next class. We'll just do the little proof and then we'll go to some examples and how it works. Okay. Anything to discuss or say? All okay? Okay, I guess. Okay, then I'll see you on Monday, 12 o'clock.